Okay.
Eli Willits, first overall.
The Nationals, there was a lot of buzz about this pick heading into draft night because they canned their whole thing. They fired Davey Martinez. They fired Mike Rizzo, who'd been there since the Proterozoic era. And that meant, like, who's going to get taken first overall? Is this going to be a new ideology? The two big names heading into the night were Ethan Holiday, a shortstop kind of from Oklahoma, son of Matt Holiday, brother of Jackson Holiday and Reed Holiday. That's the younger one. And Kade Anderson, a left-handed pitcher from LSU. But the Nats said, "Skeer," and they took Eli Willits. What kind of player is Eli Willits?
Yeah, so I had Eli Willits number 1 on my board, just talking to enough teams about him. Also the son of a major leaguer, Reggie Willits, also from Oklahoma, also has a brother named Jackson. But spelled,
Jaxon.
Yeah, spelled with an X. But Eli Willits is the youngest player, or one of the few youngest players in this class, does not turn 18 until December. And he has just stood out in a big way since he was showing up to the University of Oklahoma scrimmages when he was like 14. His dad, Reggie is the associate head coach for the Sooners. And this is just an extremely advanced player who is this young and has gotten even so much better over the last year and has kind of grown into enough physicality to where the Nationals already believed he was one of, if not the best hitter in the draft, believes he gets take a shortstop, believes he's going to grow into more power, and just has basically everything. He is giving you a floor and ceiling that you could basically argue there's nobody else in this draft that can give you, and he is going to cost a lot less than Ethan Holiday and Kade Anderson, who are Scott Boras clients.
However, I believe the GOAT, Mike DeBartolo.
Already the GOAT.
Mike
wow,
DeBartolo.
Man, we're just
the greatest DeBartolo of all time.
Okay, Jake's favorite interim GM. He said, yeah.
He said, we thought Eli Willits was the best player in the draft.
Yeah, same. He just like me for real. Anyway, so that was like, okay, wow. But we were like, okay, this is a possibility. We are not expecting it. We knew they worked him out. He had a private workout. We knew it's like, okay, if they do really swerve from Rizzo, this is like an Orioles style. A lot of their new front office, they've got their scouting director, Brad Seelick, like he came from the Orioles.
He was the third most likely selection.
I think that's fair to say, yes. However, at number 2,
the Angels.
Good job, Nats. I love the rest of their draft. Ethan Petrie, Landon Harmon, love it. Go Nats, go. But the Angels, you can always count on them to keep things spicy. Because we would assume, well, you got these 3 awesome left-handed pitchers at the top of the draft.
College.
Liam Doyle, college pitchers. Kade Anderson, who's available, right? After he doesn't go 1. Kade Anderson, Liam Doyle, Tennessee. Jamie Arnold, Florida State. And we know, well, what do the Angels do? They want someone who's going to go practically straight to the big leagues. Sometimes in Ryan Johnson's case, literally straight to the big leagues. And you can make an argument that all 3 of those left-handed pitchers could pitch in the big leagues pretty quickly. And instead, they're like, no, Tyler Bremner. Now, Tyler Bremner, I like Tyler Bremner a lot. And I actually think Tyler Bremner ended up being fairly underrated by the end of this process. This is a right-handed pitcher from UC Santa Barbara. Came into the season as a possible top 5 pick. He struggled early on in the season. This is someone who was dealing with a lot off the field as his mother was battling cancer. She passed away recently. So that is, of course, a very tragic personal story that Tyler Bremner was dealing with throughout the season leading up to this massive time in his life. As the season goes on, Tyler Bremner really starts picking it up. And he, I believe, struck out 10 in 6 of his last 7 starts. And you started to see the pitcher that coming into the year was like, no, really, if we had talked in December and we said, yeah, Tyler Bremner's going to go too. Like, okay, yeah, sure. But his stock had dropped enough. And more importantly, the lefties had gotten so much better that very few people were like, okay, even if you were going to go under and the Angels were going to pick, they're going to take one of these left-handed pitchers, right? And instead they go with Bremner, and that is quite the decision.
And the Angels love taking fast-moving players, but not according to them. Sam Blum, friend of the program, Angels writer for The Athletic, tweeted, I asked Angels scouting director Tim McElvin why the Angels prioritize fast-moving pitchers year after year. Here's what he said, quote, I wouldn't look at it as a priority for us to get guys that can move like that. I would say history says otherwise, Mr. McElvin. We do a lot of work trying to find guys that are wired right. When you get guys that want to win, that want to compete, that are able to do that are ready to do that, and are ready physically to do that as well, then that's where guys can take off. So you're looking for guys that are ready to compete physically. That sounds like college, fast-moving players. I continue. For us, when we're looking out for guys, and it's easy for us to go to the field and watch guys throw, watch guys run, that part of it is easy. Disagree. That part of it is actually kind of hard to figure out who's going to be good. But when you're trying to figure out what's inside of these guys, what's upstairs, what's in here,
that seems hard.
points towards heart. That's the part we spend a ton of time trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Well, here's the biggest thing about the Angels talking like they've got it all figured out. They don't.
And I struggle with this because on one hand, I am weirdly impressed that the guys
nailed it.
That the guy that they have zoomed to the big leagues have mostly turned out to be pretty good, but the team is not. And when you have been bad for this long, regardless of how many guys you rush to the big leagues that end up being okay, why am I supposed to take your perspective seriously, especially when your next two picks are relievers from college throwing 100 who you're going to put in the big leagues right away? It's not an accident. Like we understand. Don't we see by the way, why even pretend like you're not doing that? Like own it. Because honestly, sometimes it's been working. Now, on an individual level, because the team's not very good. They're still sort of in it this year, right?
Yeah,
they're not heading for 100 losses, but it's hard to when you have teams like this and the Rockies and the team at Pirates, you have to earn the respect and for us to take you seriously. Because there's other teams that are smart. Like, okay, let's say the Mariners had taken Tyler Bremner. Let's say the Angels had taken, right? I think there would be Mariners fans that would have been like a little like, oh, yikes. But you'd be like, well, Tyler Bremner's probably going to be pretty awesome.
They
right?
develop college pitching.
Right. And so you have to earn that benefit of the doubt that your strategy is something that is going to lead to success or is going to be the best for the players. And the Angels just don't have that.
It is the flip side of maybe my favorite baseball tweet of all time from Sam Miller. Love this trade for the Rays. Who'd they get? Who'd they give up?
Yeah. Love this draft for the Angels.
Hate this draft for the Angels. Who'd they take?
Who will be in the big leagues in 25 minutes? Anyway, Angels. Okay,
Whatever,
sure. Then, boom, Kade Anderson falls to the Mariners at 3. They're overjoyed. Ethan Holiday, the Rockies, as we expect.
Two teams who had these players number one on their board, I would imagine. Right?
Absolutely. So they are overjoyed. There's a video of the Mariners turning the pick in. And, Scott Hunter gives the draft ID, and they send the pick in, and they hang up the phone, and Jerry turns around, and he just goes like, that was awesome. And you hear someone in the back, like, I think someone in the back's like, number one player on the board. Which, again, remember, the Mariners were not supposed to be picking third. They get unbelievable draft lottery luck, and then that's just a wild, sequence of events. So, good for them.
You're so right, dude. Like, the 2024 Mariners.
Like, they won 86 games?
Going 85 and 77.
Yeah.
And then ending up with the best player on their board the following year.
Is outrageous.
Outrageous.
So anyway, so good stuff for Seattle there. Let's just broaden it up, open it up, just bop around a little bit. Who are some other drafts that caught your attention?
Dude, Miami.
This was a fun one. If you've been watching college baseball recently, you are going to enjoy the Miami Marlins draft. And by the way,
and it's clear that the Miami Marlins were watching
college baseball, and this is a franchise, especially at this point in this rebuild, that they've been taking some swings on some high schoolers recently, some of which have not been going super awesome. And I believe they had 4 picks on day one, and they used them all on college players. Iva Arquette, the Oregon State shortstop, who, again, I think a lot of people consider to be a top 5 talent.
Let me just hop in here. They took 4 college bats, 3 of whom are unique in that they are high ceiling, high risk type college players.
Yes.
Usually, college hitters are the safest demographic, not the injury risk that pitchers have. They're closer to the big leagues. And so you can, the ceiling is lower, but the floor is higher. They kind of zagged within that demographic. Iva Arquette is a 6'5" shortstop with a bunch of chase and swing and miss issues, but real juice and freaky athleticism that we think is going to allow him to stay at shortstop. Cam Canarella, their second pick, is more of like a skills over tools type. But Brandon Compton in the second and Max Williams in the third, tool sheds, right?
Yeah, I mean, Max Williams playing center field every day for Florida State and normally he would have the most raw power. Normally, Iva Arquette would have the most raw power in this class so far. But Brandon Compton at the MLB Draft Combine. I mean, listen, I understand it's batting practice, but his like average exit velocity in his BP rounds at the Combine was like 110. He maxed at 116 multiple times. He's always hit with Wood. He's been good in the summer. I love that pick. Canarella is one that, like, in another class where he was maybe the highest upside player that you took, I wouldn't like it as much, but I love this crop. If you like college baseball,
Yeah.
and by the way, it's cool because for the Marlins, normally if you're going to take the high schoolers, you're looking for that more upside for them to be able to get that upside with college players who are closer to helping them in the big leagues in a farm system that still desperately needs hitters. This is big time because the Marlins have been horrific at developing hitters. Now we know they've had some success in the big leagues with some of the guys they've traded for, but these four guys are going to be really interesting to watch in the next few years and see how they develop in a farm system who, like I said, they have not produced hitters whatsoever.
Dodgers draft.
Oh, okay.
Super fun.
Sure. Yeah.
So they don't pick until 40 and 41.
Yep.
And they take two teammates from the University of Arkansas, Zachary Root and Charles Davalon. You're low on Root.
Lowish, yeah. But this is about where I expected him to go. So
Davalon, I'm all in on. You know him because he's the guy who dropped the ball in the College World Series. Compact.
You don't have to keep reminding people.
It's just what people know.
I don't. I mean, maybe fewer people were watching, hopefully. No, he's awesome. He's from Quebec, one of the best hit tools in the class. And
little baby John
and
Durant
also
type.
cool because the Dodgers normally tied to high school players. They go with 4 college guys.
Tell me about their third round pick.
Yeah, so Cam Leiter, or I guess second round they could take Cam Leiter, another Leiter cousin, who sure enough injured all season. So Dodgers are like, hey, he was already hurt. We didn't break this kid.
Pre-injured.
He was already injured, but he showed really big stuff as a sophomore. So if they can get him right, he could be good. But yeah, Landon Viduric, the outfielder from Cincinnati, one of the most athletic players in the class, kind of a late riser in the process. That's someone you can imagine the Dodgers kind of teaching how to hit a little bit more, and that he could really take off in a hurry. 2
other drafts I like. A's.
Yep.
The Yolo County babies.
Yep.
Taking Jamie Arnold and Devin Taylor, 2 college players. Just good value for where they fell. Arnold, like a top 5 player. You had him ranked 5th, I think.
Yeah.
They get him at 11. Devin Taylor, one of the most advanced college bats in the draft, ranked definitely in like the top 30.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and he had about as good of a statistical resume as any college player in the class.
And he falls to 48. 2 great picks for the A's. And then I really like what the Phillies did.
Okay.
Gage Wood is the dude who threw the no-hitter in the College World Series for Arkansas. He falls to 26. There was some buzz for him as high as like 12, 13. Now, is he a reliever? Maybe. It's an elite fastball, like low release point, tons of ride, sick breaking ball. Is there a third pitch? TBD. Are there injury concerns with his shoulder? 100,000%. Is the command there? Who knows? Maybe a reliever. Guess what? Phillies could use a reliever.
Right.
I think there's a chance that he throws in the big leagues this season in the pen, and then they develop him as a starter for next year.
It is amazing to think about like his last college outing being that 19 strikeout no hitter in Omaha, and if he does become a reliever and like never starts again, which is like on the table.
His
like what
last start.
Yeah, like if that was just his last start
of his life,
hell of a way to go out. Or like when he would next throw a complete game, say he does become a starter, is just like very hard to imagine. But anyway, that was a fun one.
I believe really liked. I'll just bring up 2 other drafts that I think you liked.
Yeah,
Orioles, Brewers, and then the Rays. You also liked.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to pick the teams that had a bunch of picks. Brewers having 5 picks, Rays having 5 picks. I really like the Brewers, Andrew Fisher from Tennessee, one of my favorite hitters in the draft. I had him ranked 20, which felt aggressive. He goes 20. That's super validating. Love J.D. Thompson, the lefty from Vanderbilt. Rays, love their 5 picks. Good diversity of high school and college. And then with the Orioles, I mean, you have 7 picks on day 1. It's going to be hard to screw it up. They have a lot of this is an interesting group. I mean, we were like, okay, are they going to take any pitchers?
Yes.
But not until the 5th pick. But I love Joseph Jurwa, the big lefty from Michigan State, one of my favorite pitchers in this draft. So I love that one. And then they ended up, because they have the biggest pool. I mean, unbelievable that they had this much, that they were able to get this many guys who were like ranked in the top 40 even.
I believe it is the highest Michael Elias has ever taken a pitcher.
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah, 58th overall. That is quite possible. But still felt like we were waiting. But yeah, Loy and Bodine and DeBrun and Irish. I mean, that's amazing.
We have so many other draft thoughts.
Oh, let's save them.
If you want them, find us in Atlanta, buy us a 6-pack.
Yeah, and you could go read, the live blog. I wrote up some takeaways from the night